Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, what movie are we going to be talking about, Jake?
We are discussing 2020's Scare Package. Now, it does have numerous directors because it is an anthology movie.
As you guys might possibly know, as being fans of the J Squared Horror Podcast, we do enjoy our anthology movies.
Yes, we do.
We do. Jake didn't start off as an anthology horror film lover, but we've brought him in to the anthology movie fan club.
I like anthologies.
Yeah, it was found footage.
Found footage is
okay.
Still not the best, but
my bad. Already fucked up the episode.
it's okay.
So we're good.
We're off to a rough start, but we'll navigate. We'll figure it out.
Making shit up about my host here. Yes, this is a Shudder original, I do believe. Also by can't think of the other name of the production company that does this, but yeah, it's an exciting entry into the J Squared Horror Podcast. We are briefly taking a break from our fan requested episodes just to give ourselves the opportunity to put out some episodes that we want to. Not that we don't want to put out the fan requested episodes, but we just wanted to take a breather, organize our thoughts, and we saw this movie and thought, you know what? It's super easy for our fans to get if they have Shudder or if they have AMC Plus. You guys can watch this for free with those platforms. But also, we're going to do a horror movies you might have missed series where we talk about some not so popular but enjoyable horror movies that you can watch for cheap or for free based on your subscriptions.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into Scare Package, which is a Shudder original, what would we like to let anyone new to the J Squared Horror Podcast know?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
Also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
We're on Apple.
We're on there.
And we're on Google.
As far as we know.
If you know for sure.
Yes.
Instagram. J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
You heard the snap, ladies and gentlemen. Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk and drink and just have fun with horror content. We consider ourselves the most original horror podcast out there because we haven't found anyone else like us yet. Yet being the key word there.
One day.
One day there might be somebody else that's dumb enough to try this idea of horror podcasting. What we like to do is include life, families, friends, and just what you would do if you watch a horror movie and drink and talk with your friends. We consider all of our fans our friends, so we like to open up complete lines of communication with every single one of you and talk all things horror, whether that's a theme, whether that's a movie. And if you have any theme or movie ideas, please go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. There you can easily navigate the website to request to be on the episode or request an episode idea. Whatever your idea is, we will put it on our dry erase board and we will talk about it like we just did for I think it was like 3 episodes.
3 consecutive.
3 consecutive fan requested episodes. We love including all of you guys into the J Squared Horror Podcast because how do you build a communication-based podcast without talking to your fans or explaining movies that they like?
You got to communicate.
You got to. So do you like drinking?
Yes.
Do you like horror?
Hell yeah.
Do you like talking about all things horror?
Sometimes.
If that's the case, please like and subscribe, follow along because this podcast is a whole hell of a lot of fun. Now, what I'd also like to mention real quickly is we are part of the Darkcast Network. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The Darkcast Network has been supporting your guys here through a podcasting network about independent, strange, dark, true crime, and now horror podcast. So if that intrigues you at all, please, please, please go check out the Darkcast Network. We only put episodes out on every Thursday, so if you're looking for podcasts to fill your week, please go to the Darkcast Network and support all of those content creators. Now, Jake,
Yeah.
Anthology, Shudder. How we feeling, man? Were you excited to get into this one? Were you a little hesitant? How are you feeling?
I was pretty excited. One, love anthologies.
Anthologies are fun.
Two, I do enjoy Shudder originals.
Shudders are a lot of fun.
One thing I will say
What's that?
is the anthology aspect of this movie.
Yeah. Got a little too excited.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't really. It was there, but like not there at the same time for me. What about you?
Yeah. So they started off pretty weird. Very weird, if you will. And because of that, when they actually tie in the anthology part of the movie, it's like you're already kind of like, what? A little confused? Because it starts off completely different than Rad Chad's Horror Emporium.
It's a whole different fucking set of characters.
Yeah, and the whole new thing.
There's nothing that ties that cold open.
Yeah.
What it's called, first story cold open.
First story, yeah.
Nothing that ties that into, Rad Chad. So when you see it come full circle, technically, you're like, what? He's back?
Cause yeah, they even full circle it with the cold open guy.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Neither here nor there, I guess.
I mean, it's definitely here
It's
and
there.
there. It's here and it's there. I don't get it.
Yeah, that I will say, I'll give you that. Not to give away too much. It's an anthology though, so it's kind of impossible to give away too much because they're all independent movies inside of a movie, inside of an idea, inside of a theory. That is a final product.
That is correct. Yes, it is exactly that.
Yeah, anthologies are fun because you have to compare it to our favorite anthology movie, which is Trick or Treat. And we've covered other ones that have been hits and misses. And I think that this one falls right in between all of them. And that's just my personal opinion. I feel like we've covered three. And if I was to name the three, it would be Trick or Treat.
Boom.
It would be... Oh, fuck. What's that one we hated? Local.
Bad Candy.
Bad Candy, and we also covered VHS. So we have covered three anthology movies, some found footage, some not. But I feel like if I was to include, I am including this one into our
I would hope so,
catalog. Jeez. It's right there in the mix. It's no Trick or Treat. Like Trick or Treat is perfection as far as anthology.
Yeah.
Tying the story together perfectly. The stories that you get, even if you might not like a single story out of it, I feel like you still get a lot out of it because you have Sam, you have all these other characters, and like this full loop that finally happens. And you're like, cool. This all makes sense. Like it's all happening on the same night in the same town, and some crazy shit's happening.
Which is my favorite part of anthology is when characters from different stories interact.
It's triggered. I mean, Bad Candy did that, which is crazy that we hated it so much.
Yeah.
I wonder if we watched it now that we have a couple other anthologies under our
Probably
belts.
not. It is the execution. So sometimes you can love an idea and the thought of something, but then you watch like, nah, this is not how I would have done it.
Idea versus execution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
It is a very big thing
Yeah.
about different movies and especially anthologies.
Yeah.
Because the cold open in this movie really fucking grinds my gears. All right, I just want to go ahead and clear the air about the fucking cold open in this one because they decide to use a name and a likeliness of a character of mine that is my favorite of all time, and he's such a little bitch in this fucking cold open.
So that made it pretty accurate, yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. That was mean. You don't have to hate Michael Myers because of me.
I don't hate Michael Myers.
You guys heard it there.
So I know.
You guys heard it there. You guys just heard
I've
him.
heard other people say that I may come across as not the biggest Halloween
Yeah, you
fan.
come across as like the fucking biggest Halloween Michael Myers hater. And I think it's just because you know that I enjoy it so much and it's going to get under my skin.
No, it's not why.
But you're presenting it to our fans in such a manner of that you fucking hate the Halloween franchise as a whole.
No, I don't hate the franchise as a whole. So for those of you who think that I do, I'm going to take a moment and say, you know something? You're wrong, one. But two, I apologize if I came across that way.
Yeah, apologize.
Because that's not the facts. Is it an inferior fucking franchise? Yeah.
To what?
Is it overrated? Yeah.
No.
But you know what? I don't hate it.
All right. We're not talking about that forward. We've already covered it in its entirety. So I will spare our fans in hearing us
you can go back and watch it,
regurgitate content. If you guys want to know how we feel about Halloween or Friday the 13th or any other movies that we've already covered, scroll. Just fucking scroll.
All the way through.
Scroll. There's a bunch of fucking there's
from
over
the beginning
100
episodes. You can stop listening to The Shining if you want to. I wouldn't advise it.
I wouldn't suggest that one. I wouldn't suggest Dr. Sleep. But if you want to know how it starts as a original, quote unquote, back then, not so much, horror podcast, you guys can go watch us awkwardly sit on a couch and do some movie talks.
Yeah, it's rough.
And then move into a dining room where we did awkward mic stands that were in our faces the whole time. And then we upgraded from there, and then we upgraded from there, and then we're now fucking here. And we're putting out what we consider to be original horror content that you guys potentially could enjoy.
Yeah, pretty mid-level content, you know?
No, the content's great.
Oh, is it?
Content's great.
I can't tell.
Hey. Content is great.
All right.
People love us.
I'm glad they do.
I'm glad they do, too.
Yeah.
Because why would we sit here in these chairs every week if they didn't love us? You know?
You know why?
That wouldn't make any sense.
Because we love them.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
We like bringing you guys content. You guys attempting to comment along. You know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. See, it all came full circle. It all
full
came back
circle.
Around. Also, try harder to comment. So anyway, when it comes to Cold Open, Mike Myers, you didn't like it because he was portrayed.
No, I didn't like the whole fucking thing.
Really?
Nah, that whole Cold Open I hated.
Was it?
I didn't understand what his job was.
You know his job. He's the guy that Cold Open.
Yeah, but like, all right. So he decides to change it after boxing with the girl, and then
she gave him motivation.
Sees that he's not supposed to cut the power. Was he not supposed to cut the power?
He was. That was his role. So here's the thing. He's the guy from the Cold Open in most horror movies who you see him, he kind of sets the tone, then he's gone. He's not going to really have any importance moving forward. And she was the shitty cop we always talk about in a horror movie with the bad aim.
Yeah, I mean, that's a horror trope all in its own.
So but he wanted to be more. He wanted to be, maybe a final guy. I mean, he wanted to be the killer or maybe something different than just a guy you meet up front who has like an unimportant job. Like, never see him again.
Well, you're pretty unimportant, Mike.
He was unimportant.
Also,
what sucks the most? Even though he tried to do something different and made a name for himself,
he made it so much worse.
His name is already another famous name.
Yeah.
So he's still a fucking nobody.
You're still a nobody, even though you're Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Which is two famous people.
Two of them, yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't just play on that.
Yeah, because his name is Michael Myers.
His name is Michael Myers, but he goes by Mike. And it was like, sure, Shrek.
Yeah.
Right.
Austin Powers.
Yeah. All right. Fat bastard,
Wayne?
Yeah, Wayne. Wayne's World, party time, excellent. No, but what I hated was it was like the girls in that situation did fine, but like the situation of them both dying was not good.
Didn't make sense.
Did not make sense
at all.
Yeah. But also,
you see that's a theme as you go through the movie.
It's a horror comedy. It's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
But the comedy is not good.
I mean, it's not top notch.
It's not the best.
But it's not the worst either.
It's not the worst.
Yeah.
We're big horror comedy. I am. Are you a big horror?
Are
you coming around? Are you coming around?
I'll admit I am coming around. Yeah.
So I misspoke on saying that he hated horror anthologies earlier, where I meant he hates found footage films, which, hey, my bad. There's some of both out there. But horror comedies, other than the epic biggest one, which I'm not going to mention because you guys should already know it. I feel like we've done a couple now where it's like, okay, there's some good ones out there. There's some decent ones out there. I
agree. Yeah.
Where you can at least get a good time out of it. And this one, it definitely tries to give you that. But I feel like in some capacities, it's meant to try too hard. This movie is meant to be a try hard movie. It's meant to be over the top.
Yeah, it's a try hard. It's a parody.
It's a parody
of like the tropes in horror movies.
Yeah.
So it in certain
aspects on
aspects
top of a parody inside of a parody.
It takes
it's parodyception.
It takes what Cabin in the Woods did.
Yeah.
And doesn't do it as well.
Yeah, poops on it.
Yeah.
Takes a big fat steaming dump.
In the woods, yeah.
In the woods.
All over it.
If horror creators poop in the woods, do they poop in the woods?
They poop in the woods.
They poop in the woods. Here's the thing. I watched this movie last night. Would you watch it?
This morning. At 7:30 this morning.
Holy shit, dude.
I guess, yep. This is my morning.
I almost texted you last night to be like, go ahead and watch it. I already gave you the other warning. Just go ahead and throw it on. I promise you're not going to want to wake up to that.
So I had that warning you gave me in mind.
You got to sleep on that warning, too. Yeah, that's good.
Yes, I don't know.
Go ahead and let the fans know what my warning was so they can be brought in.
I mean, in essence, it was just not go into it taking it too seriously.
Do not take this movie seriously. Yeah. It's not supposed to be a seriously taken movie. It's supposed to be fun, funny, and exactly what it is, which is a horror comedy parody of horror comedies.
Because it points out the tropes.
Especially in
the horror hypothesis?
Yeah, horror hypothesis.
It literally just...
It's literally...
it's Cabin in the Woods on a lower budget, and it'll walk you through the tropes.
That's funny. So we have Cabin in the Woods with $1 budget, and we also have another one with $1 budget in this here. So there's 7 total films in this one film. But the overall film is Rad Chad's Horror Emporium. Rad Chad is a character that you meet who gives a ride to Mike Myers, who is writing a movie based on what he had already went through. He's like, yo, that's a dumb idea. You should not do it. And I wish somebody would have said that to the creators of Scare Package.
No,
but I think that was the play that they were going with, is they probably got that a lot in creating such a wild anthology movie.
You think so?
That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I have no fact to base that.
All right.
But why would they have included that in the movie?
Just
there wasn't some truth to it.
Just for humor.
Yeah, humor in the fact that that's how this movie was probably portrayed being created.
So they probably shopped it around. Everyone said no.
Fuck no.
Shutter said, let's do it.
Yeah, Shutter's going to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
We're struggling for content over here.
Well,
they have the Hell Houses.
If you need more content, guys.
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't hear me snap.
We're here.
There it is. But yeah, Rad Chad is an interesting character. He's a movie rental store owner or manager. I'm not sure if he owns it or not. I imagine he's Chad and he's Rad.
I would assume he's the owner. Yeah.
And he's looking for employees. Then you get this one weird bearded character. The ginger guy? It reminded me of Clerks.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Clerks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think they were trying to grab on to Kevin Smith's success of Clerks and then sprinkle a little horror right in there.
Or horror with a sprinkle of, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's possible.
But, Clerks, being that it's a convenience store and close to a video store. But I feel like that's kind of the basis of the Rad Chad and I can't think of the Asian character's name.
Han.
Their whole dynamic is based off of, trying to get somebody to work at a weird place.
Okay.
And the one like super fan is the guy with the glasses and the beard who kind of has the ginger like characteristics. his mom gave him a ride. He needed the shag wagon to be fixed.
Yeah.
I didn't like his character throughout the entire movie.
Really?
No. He's that try-harder character.
Do you have a favorite character?
He's the trench coat guy of this movie.
Damn.
Tell me I'm wrong. You guys haven't heard us mention trench coat guy in quite some time.
It's been a while. Yeah, I agree with that.
He's the trench coat guy of this movie.
A perfect comparison, actually.
I know. Now, you guys don't know who trench coat guy is, but we know who trench coat guy is. He was a fan we met at a convention.
Yeah.
Not a fan of us, just a fan of horror.
Yeah, just in general.
Just a creepy dude who we kept bumping into for an entire week in a Kentucky. He just kept appearing.
Always wearing that black trench coat.
Just it's like he respawned one person in front of us in line every fucking time. And he was the know-it-all. He was the fucking, he thinks he's the answer to all horror, if you will. He thinks that it's like the old, 80s horror fuckboys that just think that everything that they do today is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, hey, you guys matter too. I'm not saying you don't, but present yourselves a little better.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, you guys all matter.
Everybody matters.
Yeah, there are levels to it.
Yeah,
but you still matter.
Nobody matters, none. But there are some people that are lower on the mattering scale than others.
No, just a little more.
A little bit lower. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
I'll just talk about just Chad. He was my favorite character.
Chad is great.
He was my favorite character.
You asked me who my favorite character was.
Did.
That's right. I would say, Chad. Yeah. I agree with you. I liked everything about Chad. He was quirky and weird, which is perfect for a movie rental store owner. And they try to paint this picture of him being this creepy because he has this door that says "Do not enter," and Han constantly is wondering what's behind that door.
We're so fucking nosy, Han.
Yeah, well, you find out why later, kinda, but Chad.
Yeah, the shit with Han made no sense.
Yeah, Chad is a great character. Chad is who I am. Chad is me, and I am Chad. Just trying to find my best fucking friend. Luckily, I found him already. Yeah. He's right here, right to my left. Your guys is right, I do believe. Maybe it's flipped. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's if they're looking at it, it's there, right?
Yeah, he's my. I found my Han. But my Han didn't turn his back on me. My Han sits here every week. And does a horror podcast with me. But Chad is a cool character. I like Chad. So basically throughout this movie, they are putting in other movies or movies are playing in the background that then give you your other stories. So with that being said, there are 7 movies in total. 8 if you include Rad Chad's Horror Emporium, but we both talked about it and we agree that that's the entire movie and what makes it an anthology.
Yeah, that's the overarching.
Because Rad Chad's Horror Emporium has the movies that are playing that make this. So I'm going to read out the other 7. And I just want you to tell me your favorite, and we'll talk about that one.
Okay.
And then if my favorite's different, I'll talk about that one.
Works.
We're not gonna walk through all 7.
Okay.
But we are gonna talk about our favorites and our least favorites, and then sprinkle in some others. So we have Horror Hypothesis, which for you fans is like Cabin in the Woods-esque. Then we have Girls' Night Out of Body, which is a weird candy possession type movie. Then we have The Night He Came Back Again, which is like a funny play on the end of slasher films. Then we have Mister, which is M-I-S-T-E-R. It's an acronym. Don't know what for. And it's a werewolf story. Then we have Cold Open, we already talked about, so I'm pretty sure we can 86 that one. We have One Time in the Woods, which is kind of like The Thing and kind of like Camp Crystal Lake or like Friday the 13th. And then we have So Much to Do, which in our opinions is a $1 budgeted Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So out of those, which one is, should we start with favorite or least favorite? I think we should start least favorite. Let's go least favorite first and then favorite. So out of those ones, which one is your least favorite of the anthology?
So my least favorite was, what's it, Too Much to Do? So Much
to Do, yeah.
One, it was boring as fuck.
So bad.
Also, it never explained anything what happened. Because the 2 guys are chasing the one guy.
Yeah.
They brand him.
They brand him with like a fraternity horseshoe.
I think it was it Omega?
It's got it. It's the upside down U.
And that's why when they're at later in the movie, she's watching like Omega Man or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even pick up on that. Yeah.
So they're explaining who they are, what's happening.
Yeah.
It all just made no sense to me.
Yeah. No, it's bad.
Yeah.
And that's it. Literally dollar budget Black Mirror, because he gets branded, dies, he gets buried alive, and then he comes back as a mist. And then he possesses a girl that was on the phone with her friend talking about how she didn't want a certain TV show ruined. And they have like an epic fight over a remote. That's like the main part of this movie that I remember, or this anthology story.
He mentions having so much to do.
What do you have to do to watch the TV show?
I hope that wasn't it.
That's got to be it.
That's dumb.
He got in a fist fight against a girl who was just trying not to have her show spoiled.
But in reality, he's not fighting anyone.
Nope.
Because he's inside of her.
Inside of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her head. Yeah, not her. But
yeah. That was pretty bad.
What was your favorite?
I don't get to go least favorite first? I got to go favorite first?
I thought we did leave it like just now.
You did yours. I just talked about it.
Oh, what's yours then?
Okay. I'm going to go with, I'm honestly going to go with Girls' Night Out of Body. I hated that one.
You like that less than So Much to Do?
They're pretty close, but since you already said So Much to Do,
okay.
I wanted something else to talk about.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it to Girls' Night Out of Body. Basically, these girls go into this old Asian market and they steal some candy that they shouldn't have for like a girls' girls' night, where they're like doing face washes and eye bag removers and all that shit that girls do when they hang out together, I guess. And they eat candy that turns them into skeleton demons while they're being followed by somebody that they killed. End of movie.
Yeah, that was it.
Why? What? How? Please, for the love of all things unholy, make this shit make sense. Because not all of them make sense. I'll give you that.
True.
But at least some have some form of fucking context to go off of. This is a piece of fucking skeleton-shaped candy that turns you into a Skeletor? Like, what the fuck?
Correct.
And then somebody's following you that you just yeet into the room and then kill them while you dance and listen to music.
There you go. You got it.
What's the fucking point? Like, what's the deeper meaning? At least on yours, there's like maybe a deeper meaning of like addiction to TV shows.
The only thing I can think of is maybe don't think you can just prey on women. Because you never know.
But also, like,
that's literally it.
Don't prey on women, but also, like, don't steal from old Asian women.
Don't steal in general.
Don't steal in general, but especially from a potentially creepy looking store.
What's weird is when she called back to the store. Whose voice was that?
Hers. She was a demon.
Her mouth
Asian
wasn't even
lady.
moving.
Yeah, it wasn't portrayed.
And she looked scared.
Yeah, but they only showed like nose down.
Once
it started laughing.
And it showed her mouth not move.
It's just teeth.
Either just bad acting or it's just through the phone. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a very terrible, terrible storyline.
Okay.
I feel like those two are equally as bad, in my opinion.
All right.
Like, as much as yours didn't make sense, nor did mine.
Okay.
And like, the only thing I'll give yours is like the potential for it being like, maybe it's like, don't ruin shit for people, or like, don't be addicted to watching shows. I don't fucking know. We are addicted to watching horror movies.
Yeah,
so
I have no idea.
who the hell are me? The one I did want to mention, if I could have a little shout out for one.
All right.
Out of this list, and it's not a good one. It's more closer to the bad ones, but Mr. Right?
So that was my second least
favorite?
enjoyed episode. Yeah.
Okay. My second least would be Cold Open, but go ahead. Why would Mr. MISTER, which I don't know what that stands for, what the acronym could potentially be, but it's a werewolf story with like a cult? Yeah, it's a werewolf cult story.
Yeah, so it comes off like a cult story.
Yeah.
But, so I guess
it's a men's health group.
Their thing is to go and, I guess, pretty much collect different types of creatures or whatever. Because at the end of it, he says he had to. It's not what she wanted, but I had to make a quick decision and got werewolves.
Yeah. So they're hunting just beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just seemed real stupid to me.
So the whole support group is built off of men not having backbones against their women.
Yeah.
That's a pretty weak start from the jump. Which if you don't, I'm sorry. But if your girl's asking you to take out the fucking trash, take out the fucking trash, dude. Like, geez. Also, it's like, I get like it, the support groups and like being there for each other and like community, and he uses that to his advantage of then manipulating the group into welcoming him in, because he felt like he was, ostracized by his woman. He has no balls.
Yeah. Well, also you see, you see that none of them have a backbone anyway.
Yeah,
so
they're
I feel
all
like
even when they're
in
like
their group, pretty simple.
Yeah, if you're in that group, you deserve to die.
Yeah,
because you're not a man to begin with. And I'm not talking about like, roles of like man versus woman, but at the same time, bro, like just shut the fuck up and be a man. Jesus Christ, it's not that bad, dude. Like nothing that they said was bad.
No,
it's just life. Like, even if you have a mom, like, your mom expects you to do that shit. So if your wife or girlfriend does, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And do it. Do you agree or disagree on that? Like, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I think they gave pretty, like, generic reasons.
Very generic shit. And they're, like, it'd be, like, POV, like, them, like, confessing it to the camera, and none of them, like, hit home.
Yeah, so that made no sense. Also, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I wish it was more comical. Like, if they would have pulled out some shit where it's like, I only get laid once a year. Like,
that's something.
I'll give you that. Yeah. Like, dang, that sounds terrible. But it's just like normal household shit.
Yeah, I feel like a few things he tried to portray as funny just came off super like
flat.
Misogynist.
Yeah, misogynistic, flat. It just missed the mark. Yeah. And you gotta think, this isn't a movie from the 80s. This is a movie from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you don't know how the world's painted.
That's how I was like, I don't get this one.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And maybe, they're trying to like push the envelope by doing that, but you dropped it flat.
Yeah, you didn't push anything.
It didn't make it into the mailbox. It got lost.
It did not.
It got lost. All right, so let's go to your favorite then. Yeah,
all right.
I'll go with your favorite then.
My favorite was One Time in the Woods.
One Time in the Woods, which, if you guys remember, is the Thing / Camp Crystal Lake Friday the 13th vibe. So why did you like that one the most? What were some aspects of that movie line or that storyline that you felt like just really knocked it out of the park?
Well, one, I found it humorous.
It was funny. A lot about that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that was fucking funny.
That like when you find out that the boyfriend is actually the killer.
The killer, yeah.
And he squeezes the guy. He talks about how strong he is.
I didn't realize how strong you were.
Yeah. That I like the look of the makeup and the prosthetics of when they go to that transformation, and as you see it progress.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, they took a page right out of John Carpenter's The Thing, in my opinion.
When he walks up and just hits the hand, everything it had great comedic timing to it.
Oh my god, I'm so happy you said that.
The
timing of a lot of that was huge.
The acting was good.
Acting was solid.
Prosthetics were good.
Amazing.
Far beyond the rest of them.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I don't want to say the same thing, but the one that would be closest to that would be Horror Hypothesis.
Okay.
But if I can just piggyback off of yours real quick.
Yeah.
I fundamentally agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm going to pick something else is for content purposes only. Okay. If you didn't say that, I would definitely have said One Time in the Woods. But what I will say, in addition to what you said, is it did tropey, but also like if you're a fan at all of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and like some of the just like deaths that are like far-fetched. One of my favorite parts of that is when she runs off to get help and just takes the tree branch through the cheek and is like stuck on the tree branch and then he throws a fucking rock from like explodes. A mile and her head explodes. Yeah. It reminds what's the one movie where the reporter's head is that They Live?
No, it's
not, but what is it?
Oh fuck, what is it?
It's like one of the most epic prosthetic kills of all time. Yeah. But yeah, it reminded me a lot. I feel like they whoever directed this one, and we didn't get into all that because as you guys know, we're not information based, we're communication based. Whoever directed, wrote, and did this one literally took some of the best practical 80s horror stuff. Carpenter, whoever did the head explosion stuff. Just like overall, like the squeeze, like he talked about, the humor right then, even as you're dying, intestines falling out. Everything looks so real. The goop, the gook, everything was just so true to like horror classics.
Yeah.
Any legit horror fan is going to enjoy it. But because I'm trying to get content out of this here movie, I'm going to say Horror Hypothesis, which is kind of like Cabin in the Woods with a like $2 budget.
But now, are you a fan of Cabin in the Woods?
I'm coming around to it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a couple years. It's something I want to cover very soon because we hated Eli Roth so much, but we both agreed that it is our favorite Eli Roth movie. Right?
It's Cabin Fever.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
I don't know why I want to watch it now.
I mean,
is it good?
It's not a bad movie.
I don't like it, though, do I? What have I said before?
That you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Let me just ride this wave real quick.
Ride it.
You're calling me out, and I'm fucking fumbling. I'm falling apart at the seams.
No, you're
here.
good.
I did confuse the two.
Yeah.
Even when I watched this movie, I was like, fucking Eli Roth can do some shit. It's fucking Cabin Fever. That has nothing to do with none of this shit. It would be more like the one you fucking liked, if any of them.
Yeah.
I think that this one potentially did better than Cabin in the Woods.
So, this particular one.
Yeah. Horror Hypothesis.
The funniest part to me was, so when they get out.
Yeah.
And he gets in the room, he figures out who's who, tries to name the final girl.
Also, why Chad is my favorite character is because of Horror Hypothesis.
Final girl, jock,
slut.
The guy with an accent that he hears.
Well, because I think he starts with like, buh.
Yeah.
And he's like, go ahead. He's like, British.
So when they start to get out of the room.
Yeah.
And the black guy goes out.
Yeah.
And he said, hold on, don't go behind him.
Don't follow him.
Why? Instantly, you know why.
Fucking axe comes past every single white character that is out in the hallway. Black guy's obviously the furthest ahead because he's the quickest.
Yeah.
Gets the axe in the back. And it's just,
done.
Reminds me of the remake of Friday the 13th. Where that's how that black character died.
Same way, yeah.
He tuned up Jason Voorhees in the cabin.
He runs,
and doesn't serpentine. Yeah. You got to serpentine run when you're in these fucking sticky situations,
which
man.
You should, yeah.
Put your S run on. You got to put that S run on. Make sure they can't hit you, and if they do, they're damn accurate. And he gets right to the back and dies.
Yeah.
But it is fucking such a well use of a tricky comedy sometimes. Like, you don't want to be over the top with it.
True. He never says it directly.
It was all assumed.
Yeah, assumed.
But it was, Rat Chad looks like he would be saying exactly what he's saying.
The way he would say it, yeah.
He's the fucking bow tie thing on, the cowboy tie on,
What's it called? Dolo? Bolo?
Bolo tie, yes.
What's they used to wear those? Philip Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Philip Rivers.
Good old Phil Riv.
Last time we were in the playoffs.
Phil Riv.
Damn.
Chargers great.
The character that's dressed like Johnny Depp's character from
the jock.
Yeah.
They did pay homage very well.
Yeah.
And I it's funny, even on IMDb I saw it was like trivia. Did you notice that? I'm like, yeah, anybody that knows anything about horror would immediately pick up on that. It's the number 10 jersey cut in half.
Yeah.
On a very attractive male. That's it. Johnny Depp was way hotter. I'm just going to clarify. But this guy was pretty buff.
The number 10 was also used again in another Wes Craven movie.
They leaned heavily on Nightmare on Elm Street in this one with the car.
Yeah.
Rat Chat's car.
Yeah, everything was pretty.
It was heavy on it.
So it's weird because I feel
heavier on that than anything. Like actual like
direct.
Yeah. Without having to verbally say anything.
Your eyes told you.
The most direct comparisons.
Yeah, a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street.
So it was. Clearly whoever did the Rad Chad and Horror Hypothesis was like, I fucked with the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Maybe it's just Wes Craven in general because they mentioned Randy too from Scream.
Fuck yeah, dude, you're right. Maybe they just give the nod fully to
Wes Craven.
Wes.
Yeah.
But if you look into it, there's also nods to Carpenter because of Michael Myers, The Thing.
Yeah.
So it's really the two of the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know for the one, the night he comes home, or no, that's Halloween. That's the night he comes home. But
that's the tagline from Halloween 1978.
What is it about?
Which one?
Can't kill him. He's coming home, coming back. What's the one?
The night he came back again.
Okay.
They literally just added a word. I think.
There we go.
Yeah. Can we talk about that one? All right, hold on.
That one was obviously very Michael Myers.
Let me just explain why that was my favorite, because you fully took over
the
room. It's fine. I mean, I get it. I just realized you asked me my favorite, and I've gotten to say like two statements on it.
Excuse me for talking too much. Go ahead.
No, I'm happy that for the first time in the podcast history, I'm not going to get blamed for taking over on the mics for once.
I'm going to do it.
And if you knew the conversations we had before getting onto the microphones, you guys would fully understand the context of why this is hysterical. But I did like that Rad Chad was painting the whole picture for everybody.
Yeah.
And being like, that's the jock, that's the slut, that's the virgin, that's the British guy, that's the stoner.
Yeah.
I'm Randy Meeks.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which he says it.
Yeah.
I mean, he says literally, I'm that character. And it's awesome because...
Well, yeah, because someone says that's not a defined
and he's like, whoa. He's in 2 movies.
Yeah.
But I like that he still went out as well. Like, Randy Meeks' character died in Scream 2.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have made it, but the way he went out was just epic. And it's also funny because they added in, I don't know what that guy's cameo was. Who the fuck was that guy?
What's it, Joe Bob Briggs?
I don't know.
Yeah, he used to have, I remember when I was younger, he had a show used to come on like TNT.
Oh, okay.
Of him almost like a late night horror.
So he has horror ties.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no fucking clue.
They would show like shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like the host of you like watching the movie.
Oh, okay.
He'd introduce it.
Yeah.
You'd watch it, commercial breaks, he'd come back type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But he dies, and he gets super sad, and then he gets the hat.
Yeah.
He gets punched through the fucking face.
Loved it.
Such a good send-off for a character like Ratchat. Like, there's no other way to send him out. And even the stoner was like, I think that's how he would have wanted to die.
100%.
I'm like, that's fucking great. But yeah, I enjoyed it because of that, and it painted the picture, and you're kind of like believing what he said, and then you realize that the slut was actually the virgin and the other one wasn't, and she gets pulled through, and they're like, oh, that's why he's called the Impaler. It's just like the comedy in that one was pretty on par as well, just like the one in the woods. But I enjoyed it, and then obviously it played into the very end of the movie. Which wasn't my favorite part, but there was like rules of keeping the body over 14 meters away from the car so it could start. As you guys know on the podcast, we always talk about like why the fuck can't cars start in horror movies.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they troped that in with like trying to. It's funny because really, what the fucking horror hypothesis? Why it's called a horror hypothesis is because they're trying to figure out what makes this killer so successful.
Yeah.
And they're running tests on like this girl's running on a treadmill in front of this killer and she keeps falling.
Yeah.
This car won't start 14 meters close to this car. And it's like, or close to the body. And you're just like, all the very true tropes of horror that aren't tropey tropes. And it's really cool that they tied it in there that way. And the title is called Horror Hypothesis. But now we're going to get into The Night He Came Back Again because it's great. It is legitimately a good time. And I enjoyed every second of it. It's right under the other two. Like, I mean, it's close.
Yeah, if I had a second favorite,
I'd have to go third.
It would have been this.
Because I feel like I give yours my second place and mine my
I think I like this a little more than
Horror Hypothesis.
Yeah.
It's fine. Fuck you.
But, it was good.
It's a fucking good time.
Yeah, I like
if you know anything about...
Like douchey boyfriend.
Yeah, but also our two favorite franchises are built completely off of this.
And they kind of teeter back and forth between the two characters.
Yeah.
Like the very end, when he getting put into the wood chipper, which,
It couldn't have been because it didn't come out in time.
I know, but...
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
Said, I'm your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
I thought he said, find my brother. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, go find, like, he had a twin that was just as hot as him. because that was kind of a play in it because she stopped killing him because he was so attractive.
That's made like weird at the end. Like you thought he was so attractive, but that's your brother.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But it's funny because she finally captures the July 4th kid. And it's ironic that
It's on a holiday.
It's a holiday themed horror thing that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Of a July 4th killer. And you're like, what? And they get him. And it's funny because like, they all like hop out of like hiding. It's like Scooby-Doo-esque even. And you're just like, pull off the mask. It's the fucking janitor. You know, it's fucking funny. And that's why this movie is not as bad as we portrayed it kind of in the beginning, because there are some really fun parts, but there are some really shitty parts too.
I like that he tried a one-liner too.
Yeah.
About to kill her.
Yeah.
So he hides the founding fathers for me. She's like,
looks at him
like, dude, you know, this is my
this
thing, right?
This is my time.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they paint it as like she's clearly been with a few dudes. She keeps saying, you keep killing all of my boyfriends. So it's like a constant, like she's a revolving door. And there's nothing, I'm not judging anybody that dates, but it's fucking funny.
That dates.
That dates or bangs, whatever. But it's funny because it's like, it paints a whole different kind of picture of like how this situation played out.
Yeah.
Because like, she's used to her boyfriends dying. So like, she just like toys with them and like gets them to feel close to her almost as like a sacrifice to hopefully catch the killer.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it would have worked if the boyfriend wasn't such a dick. And he's like, I just want to have sex. And then he gets fucking stabbed right in the back of the head.
Sure.
But also when it comes down to the decision of the guy in the friend zone, it's like, it's such an accurate portrayal of the fucking friend zone that has ever been seen in horror. And the only one that can kind of come close is Randy Meeks and Nev Campbell and Sidney Prescott, because he is the friend zone of all friend zones, because all he ever wanted was to be with Sidney. But this one did it so well because even when she slightly starts to fall for him, just slightly, they take the mask off, and the fucking killer is just a handsome devil.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know.
And then he gets killed because she still can't make the decision on who she'd rather be with. It is such a funny portrayal of modern, like, friend zoning and relationships and, like, what some guys go through and what girls... I'm not saying like girls do this to guys, but guys also set themselves up for it when the girl gives you zero indicators that she wants to be with you, but you keep making it up in your fucking head that she wants to be with you.
Love with her.
Yeah, you're automatically in love, and it's fucking funny.
Yeah,
that is solid, and I love that that's how it portrayed out. And then think the body's already been fucking burned, cut, stabbed, cut in half. Like it's been through the works, and the guy keeps surviving. And it's funny because even when they pull the mask off, his face, like you even notice when he's wearing the mask, his mouth is super prominent, and like you can see his teeth through the mask.
Yeah,
and when they take his face is like stuck like that, and he has this evil laugh. But it's like, she's like, I totally smashed.
He's half a body.
He's half a body. And she's like, fingers still work. There's other things that you can use. I see that mouth, boy. It's fucking funny, man, because you can paint your own picture of why she would choose that. It's funny.
It is.
And then, like you said, throws him in the wood chipper, which is ironic because Michael Myers years later gets killed in a car chipper. So they, I guess that Halloween Ends just looked at scare package and said, that's how we're going to end it.
This is the way to do it right
This is the way to do it. Yeah, man, there's some bad ones. There's some good ones, but the good ones were this fun that we can sit here and chat about it and have this much of a good time, explaining the fun ones and not having to dive and waste your guys' too much time on bad ones. Cause that's not as fun. I'd rather talk about the shit I enjoy rather than the shit I hate.
Sure.
So you guys, if you decide to watch this, can get a lot of enjoyment out of, I think, 3 out of 7. It's not a bad number.
It's not bad. It's
not. Can we do an overall ranking or like a number? I don't think we can.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because, I think we did it for the other ones, but I mean,
we kind of, in essence, kind of did it already.
We did, but, I wouldn't say this is definitely one I'd watch again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Probably more in a group setting than alone, personally.
I probably watch it more so in October.
Yeah, definitely towards Halloween.
And it will be also in a group
setting.
Yeah.
I don't think this is one that's going to be in my personal watch again. But it's a lot of fun, man. Like I said, free on Shudder, AMC Plus, because it's included with Shudder. I had a good time. Next week, I think we know what we're going to cover, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Jake, let the fans know what we're going to be covering next week in our movies you may have never seen. What the fuck did I say earlier? Yeah.
All right. So next week in our series, there we go.
That's what
that's the
looking
word.
for.
Series. We're covering The Jester.
Looks like a hoot.
It does.
Looks like a hoot. It looks like a Shudder Terrifier combo. It looks pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited about it. We had gone back and forth each other on which one to cover first. And drinking and talking about an anthology this week sounded like such a good time. So we decided that. And honestly, it's been exactly what we had hoped.
Yeah, I feel like we made a good choice.
Made a good choice. Made a very good choice coming into the movies you may have never seen series. Basically, with this series, I kind of mentioned at the beginning, but if you stuck around to this part, we basically just want to do cheap, affordable, sometimes free movies that you can watch and enjoy. That maybe could just set up your October with some stuff that you haven't been watching over and over and over again. These are fairly new films. We really dig Shudder and everything that they do. There's some fucking bombs on there too, but we've seen previews, and obviously with just knowing previews, you don't know exactly what you're going to get, which brings us to pretty good content. Not talking about something that we've seen 1,000 times or haven't seen that came out 40 fucking years ago. So this is I feel like it's a fun time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. If there's anything that you guys may think or may want us to mention on the movies you may have never seen, please, please, please let us know in the comments down below on YouTube. You can comment on Instagram. You can also go to our website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. Super easy to navigate. And you can request some not as seen horror films. Definitely try to keep it as close to new as possible because there's a plethora of old ones that people haven't seen. Easy to find, cheap. That's what we're going for here with this series. We're super excited to bring you guys Jester next week. Is there anything that we missed in this episode that you might want to mention before we sign off and say our thank yous?
Yeah, just to give it a rating. Yeah, that's about it.
I thought you said we couldn't rate it.
We could rate it. I think they said rank it.
Not each one. I was talking about the whole movie.
Yeah, we can rate it. Yeah.
All right. Jake, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you give Scare Package?
5.5.
Right there with you, Bob.
Boom.
5.5.
Cool.
It's right there above average.
Yeah.
If there weren't some shitty ones, it might have been higher, but you gave me the shitty one, so I have to give you your ranking accordingly. Big shout out to Jeff Balance, who does our design work. He knocked out an amazing design for us last time that you guys haven't seen yet, but we love it just for us right now. If you see anything on behind us, we're wearing on YouTube, on social media, that is Jeff Balance. If you need any design work, hit us up. We'll give you his contact information. He does amazing work for pretty good prices. Big shout out to Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music. If you stick around for the end, we have the amazing outro music that is unlike anything I've ever heard before. Just kidding. It's a complete ripoff to something that everybody's heard 1,000 times, but it's our own take on it, and we love it. Remember, it's hip to be squared. That is the title of that there song. A big shout out to Jake, being the world's greatest other host that I could have. He's not a co-host, guys. He's right up there with me. You fans love him. I love him. Everybody give a fucking clap for Jake, the world's greatest host.
Thank you. Even though other and co-hosts count the same thing.
The other host of the J Squared Horror Podcast, it makes you level with me. Co-host makes you slightly under.
Well, I feel like co-host the same thing.
Oh, I always felt like when people I felt like I got flack when I would say co-host. People are like, he's your co-host. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know.
It's like if there's an owner and a co-owner, you're both the owners.
Yeah, but haven't you realized I get flack when I tell people you're the co-host?
I don't know why you care about it.
Well, because I want you to feel loved.
I don't care about it.
You feel loved?
I do feel loved.
You feel appreciated on the podcast?
I do.
Good. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I love this guy. What can I say?
I think that's it.
Events, September. There's a thing called a convention.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great weekend. Always remember, it's hip to be squared.